I think if we just flick through the slides, I reckon I can get through them in about 4 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, just because I am passionate about this part of it, because this is the wider context of skid resistance. You know, we can have a technical specification, but to me, and I'm sure people will resonate with this, it's all about the people and it's the relationships and the passion they have. So I think the key thing for us is building partnerships across all the sectors, people like WDM in terms of the technology, the suppliers who have to go and do the treatment, the people and investors. It's really important. They all play an important role in coming together. So that's why I think people with passion, flair, and those who dare to try are those that make a win. So, and the other thing we've found is on the next slide is just the combination of safety and asset management. So typically asset managers look at protecting their road asset, and the safety engineers, and these are generalizations, but they look at, you know, making delineation improvements and treating the crashes. We've managed to bring that together and say those two disciplines need to work and coincide together in terms of when we're doing our asset management, we can actually invest a little bit more to address the safety issues and make a significant improvement. So to us, that was really key in terms of getting those two disciplines to work together. There's a lot of challenges in doing this. It's not easy. You know, we've also got more vulnerable road users, so we've got to make sure that anything that we do, we've got to think about our cyclists and motorcyclists. We've got a few challenges here, as I've said earlier, about water, aggregate supply, looking at the impact on the world in terms of the environmental impacts, in terms of our carbon footprint, a lot of vehicle kilometres being travelled doing the surveys, and obviously recycling. Can we reuse materials that are there? So it's really, really, you know, challenging. But also the good thing is, I think, sharing the information and the knowledge, which is why these forums are so fantastic, and the conferences we've set up around building on the knowledge we've got and sharing that internationally to help people sort of launch. Rather than starting at the zero base, they can use all that good information and apply it to their particular network. And as we've sort of highlighted, there's a lot of complexities, and we don't need to go through all these, but I'm sure you would have picked up a flavour today. There's so many things that go into skid resistance measurement and what we do with it. It's just so more complex than any other sort of road condition factor. So there's a lot of things to take on board, but the key thing is just to start with small steps. And so for us, we're moving to what we call the road to zero. So this is the government's focus on even making a bigger difference around reducing death and serious injury. Our mission is no one should be killed or seriously injured on our road network, and no death or serious injury is acceptable. So that's a really tall target. So that's why this investment is so important. And in terms of looking back over time, the contribution we think we've made in terms of our serious crash rate, you'll see here again the difference between the dotted lines is for our rural highways in red, all, and our rural highways wet in black. You can see there is a significant downward trend in terms of the improvements we've made in the crash rate for wet road crashes. So we think, you know, just generally we've probably saved about 124 deaths, 558 serious injuries over that sort of 20-odd year period. So to us, that's, you know, we think that's a fantastic contribution, but we cannot rest here. We've got to just keep moving in terms of continuing to fight the fight and do what we can to save more lives in the future. So Roland, I'll end it there. The last slide was just a bit of vision for the future, but I think you know, we're always looking at how we can make continuous improvement. So you know, welcome other people's ideas about their experiences and how we can work together in terms of the future.
Absolutely. Which I think, you know, it's great that you've outlined those factors and the lessons learned, and I'm really glad that we flicked through, if just to kind of touch on that last slide, because you know, it is one of the things that's difficult in this is to kind of categorize a human life as an economic cost. You know, those are real people, those are real numbers, and that's really where the difference is made. So thank you for sharing that and sharing what's made your program a success. We had two poll questions to wrap up. There's really one that I want to get to, mostly because, Mark, it gives, I think, a chance for you to further engage with the audience here. So we'll throw up one more poll question, and that is, let us know what's the best way to follow up. So would you like to receive any additional information from WDM USA on NZTA's program, research or opportunities to collaborate with NZTA? So you know, Mark and his team, he's an open book, and they've got about 20 years worth of research and in-field data at their fingertips. So I really encourage everyone to take advantage of that. Other states or federal pavement friction management programs, one size doesn't fit all. friction resources more generally, and none of the above. You've got everything you need and you're good to go.